Good day everyone, welcome to today's video. Today it is the Spade impressions on the M4 Tipo 1C. Obviously this has been a long time coming since the first battle was a very long time ago. And that is because I've had a horrible time spading this tank for the majority. It got better towards the end, but I never really liked the Fireflies. I like all the Shermans in the game, it's just not these ones. With Shermans, for the majority of them, you get 10 degrees of gun depression. In this you get half that, so you really can't utilize good positions that well. On top of all this, the M4 Tipo doesn't actually have its correct gun mantlet modelled, as I will prove now. So the front of the turret is exactly the same as normal Sherman's, no problem. But it's this part here. This is normally 88mm stick, or 76, I can't remember which one it is. I'll probably bring up the Firefly as an example. And this part's also 38. So let's jump over to the Firefly, which I will quickly put up. And yes, 89mm on top of 38. So you can see the Firefly's gun mantlet is a lot more protected. Obviously the hull is pathetic because it's a Firefly. But when you compare it to a Tipo, this has got slightly better slopage, which has saved me from a couple of tanks, I will admit. There was one case where a T-34-85 bounced off right here, and went up, hit my barrel, and just took my barrel off. That's all it really did. But this gun mantlet hasn't saved me once. Not even from something like a T50 for an APCR. And yeah, don't rely on this thing for its gun mantlet like I normally would. You'll be quite surprised how many stupid players shoot a gun mantlet of Sherman's. But otherwise, the performance in terms of mobility isn't too bad. I mean, stock it's pretty poor, as with most Shermans. But once you get it upgraded, it shifts along rather nicely. Unfortunately, I could not go full American, as I call it, very often in this thing, and that's due to the mounting of the 50 cal. If you try to pull it up any higher than about 15 to 20 degrees, the 50 cal will just hit the roof of the tank or the commander's cupola. It's quite annoying, but hey, you gotta make sacrifices, haven't you? But other than that, it feels to me like a standard M4A1. That's pretty much how it drives. It's got the same weak spot as most Shermans with its electronical turret traverse here. That was put in as a weak spot intentionally because it is a real weak spot on the tank. And well, if you know where it is, I guess you could go for it, and it is rather weak. And I do apologize about any wind noise you can hear. I do have the windows open. It's a bit of a warm day in the man cave for some reason. But your ammo racks are very, well, there's a lot of them, but they're mostly stored in the hull, with just one being right next to the gunner's feet. For the most part, you should be safe from ammo racks. I've not been ammo racked in this tank once. But this tank isn't very well known for its armor, as with most Shermans, apart from the jumbos. Now, obviously, you'll fight with the Germans, and the Japanese in some occasions, maybe even the French if you're lucky. And obviously, you will have to fight jumbos. Jumbos are probably going to be your biggest annoyance with this thing, because they can penetrate you pretty much anywhere they like, except for the frontal slope. And, well, you can only just penetrate their frontal plate. I have killed jumbos, and jumbos have killed me, so it's quite fairly balanced. But for some reason, this part here is not 101, I think it is on most Shermans, or 108. No idea why. I think the M4, just the standard M4 in the American tree, has that problem. Anyway, I've blubbered on a bit too much. Let's go briefly over the recommended upgrade path. So obviously, we all know the drill by now. Parts, FPE, Shot Mark 4, Shot Mark 8, adjustment of fire, this comes in very handy. Then spare retard, because you'll need it, because you're in a Sherman. If you take a hit, you're going to know about it. Then go for the engine mods. Excuse me there. But yeah, don't expect this thing to shift as well as a fully upgraded Sherman when this thing is stock. It really doesn't. The engine lacks a lot of power. And well, if we take a look, take off 48 horsepower, I think it is, to the current engine power, so about 354, and you can really feel it in a difference because it's a 31.5 ton tank. But anyway, I've blabbered on a bit too much. Let's get into the replay. So obviously the M4 Tipo is, well, I've never really liked the Firefly. I did love the gun, obviously, because it's a Firefly. It will cut right through anything. But if you really need a tank to do anything similar to this, like a big gun on a Sherman chassis, and you need it on your team, just get your mate to bring an SA-50 is all I'll say. It's a lot better, its turret's a lot better, its gun's a lot better, and most importantly, you remove the fact that you don't have to fight French jumbos. Think of it that way. Anyway, let's get into it, shall we? So I noticed a bit of a delayed Spade impressions because I just really didn't give a toss about this tank. After the constant bad teams and bad games I was having, I just could not be arsed. And well, let's be real. It isn't a... Well, the teams are still not changing, but this spot right here is very useful. You literally just drive down the road from your spawn, and there's a nice rock formation where you can go hold down. I obviously spot the MA team, but I wanted to back up a little more just to get a shot on him. I hit him, but it only takes out his loader and turret drive. Unfortunately. But no problem. We do get the assist for him later. And now we play the waiting game. So the MAT, I was waiting for the MAT to pull out a bit more. I thought, if he's going to sit there, I'll go for another target. There's a Cheeto late there. I miss him, unfortunately. I dropped some artillery on their position. And there goes the Cheeto late. Or rather, was the Cheeto late. First kill. And there goes the MA team with a nice hull break. Love hull breaking those little shits. That's second kill. You'll be quite surprised how many M18s you can kill with this gun, and they don't expect a 17-pounder. It's like the Spanish Inquisition, really. They don't expect a 17-pounder to be on the Axis team, for the most part. And I had to make a Spanish Inquisition joke there, because why not? Crippled that Cheeto there, or that Cheeto late, I do apologise. He is going to pull back. It is a full up tier before anyone works that out, because we have Tigers on my team, and the enemy team have Jacksons. Don't know what a Jackson is, it's the M36. And here comes a Cheeto. Or rather, was a Cheeto. Third kill. That was an Amarak shot. I love seeing tanks explode via Amarak, especially Whirlwinds and Oswinds. Another new one is the M42. When that thing goes off, the turret goes flying, just like a Whirlwind and an Oswind. It is hilarious to see. Now, most people would probably be looking at the cap situation thinking, oh my god, this is a terrible team. Don't worry, they'll claw it back. And I literally mean claw it back. The enemy team managed to do the classic snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. Don't ask me how. But we've got a couple of recordings to do today. I have, well, as I record on the 11th of March, I have pretty much finished my assignment when this, well, it would have obviously been finished. I'd have probably gotten a mark by the time this video comes out. But, yeah, so I'm going to do a couple of recordings today, get them done. Because you saw a Super Purging, you saw a P41. That's because I was skin grinding in that thing, and I had a pretty intense fight. Now, here's what I mean by full American. You can see that the 50 cal just can't get up high enough, and yet the 30 cal can. Very annoying, very frustrating for me, because I love going full American against planes. I do get strafed by a couple of these planes, but it's no biggie. And I don't recall anything bad happening in the chat, so I'm just going to leave it on anyway. There's nothing really interesting if I remember correctly. But you can see, if I was in a... It's just a very awkward placement of the 50 cal, and there it goes, it's out of ammo. I believe I got strafed by the P-38 then. They've got several air support aircraft up, but the P-47 has only got rockets left. He is going to fire a rocket at us later, if I remember correctly. I literally haven't watched this. I've literally just watched this replay as I'm recording it and speaking to you now. I'm speaking to you now. I've got to make a bad joke out of this, haven't I? And here comes rockets, but he misses. He does damage to 50 cal, but it is marginally noticeable. But there you can see, full American, can't do it. And I know this is technically in the Italian tree, but it's technically an American tank with a British gun. Yeah, try explaining that one. But we did give Italy Tipo, well, they call them Tipos, but we did give them Fireflies after the war with these composite hulls. Because we didn't need them. We had Centurions. But yeah, it was a... This is a okay tank to Spade. I mean, I've certainly had better Spades. One of my favourite Spades of all time, and it wasn't a... Well, one of my favourite Spades of all time, as you probably already guessed, was the 76 Jumbo. Sadly though, that has now gone up to 6.0, which is a real shame. It really doesn't deserve that battle rating. It's now in the same territory as the Walker Bulldog, which you will see that first battle, because I just got the American M41. And there you can see an M4A276. Create this engine. And well, he's not going anywhere now, is he? Fourth kill. There's an Avenger. He just needs, what, 4 or 5 more Avengers, and then you can say Avengers Assemble without getting copyrighted. If you don't understand that one, you are not a Marvel fan. But I was originally going to record this replay on the Friday. However, Captain Marvel, which came out that day, put a stop to that. And well, I liked Captain Marvel, it was very good. Brie Larson was a badass. And yeah, it was a very good film. And down there you can see a Jumbo. And well, I hit him, but it really didn't do a lot. Because it's a Jumbo, it really doesn't give a fuck. Goes straight by, I think that was the KI-61. Disable the engine on the Jumbo. Obviously I'm going for the lower armor in the track. That's the best place to kill a Jumbo from this range. And there we go. 5th kill. There's your ace. We ain't got much more to go, and since I blabbered a lot in the intro, I'm literally just going to leave it after we get the final kill, which is obviously number 6. But I highly recommend people trying this position, because I've seen Comets use this position, I've seen Avengers, I've seen Panthers, and it works really well, because you can hide your turret, well, you can hide your hull, sorry, really, really well. And there you can see a M4A176, he is going to be the final kill. It's at this moment, I believe I don't know how I didn't see him then. Just proves my eyesight, don't it? I spot him now. obviously I've not played the match, but yeah, I am pretty much blind as a bat in most situations. Take out the driver and the track, as well as I believe that's the loader on the M4. And get a very unusual ricochet on him. But, takes out the tank, I couldn't give a shit. 6th and final kill. I'll wait till I'm out of Bino's view, and then we will end it there, because, well, I spend a lot of time with Binos in this battle, because I'm just keeping an eye out, really. So, what did I think of the Tipo? Well, like I said, the first battle showed it to be absolutely godlike. It is not when your team is terrible. The gun depression is very hard to work with in most spots that you may want to use, in most tanks that require or have 10 degrees of gun depression. But otherwise, yes, I do recommend picking up the tank if you like the Firefly. However, just bear in mind, you will have to fight Fireflies, and it will be hilarious to see. Well, it'll be hilarious to fight them, but when a jumbo comes rolling around the corner, you're not going to be laughing in most situations. But otherwise, this was a perfectly good tank. I mean, it could have been better in terms of gun depression, but obviously it's got a 17 pounder in its hull or turret. It's not going to be much in terms of gun depression. But overall, I'd recommend just bringing along the SA-50 if your mate's got it. If you've got a mate who's got an SA-50, just bring that because it's so much better. It's got better hull armor in most situations. It's got a better turret. It's got a better gun, and you can actually go full. Well, you can't really go full American in it because it loses the 50 cal. But I have gotten an air kill with a 30 cal before. But that's my opinion. Anyway, I've got some other recordings to do, and I will see you all on the next one. Hope you enjoyed.